So let's assume that this is my fabric, this is the length of my fabric, and this is the width of my fabric. So what I would advise, let me get you the measurements. So what I'm going to use is from my shoulder to my waist. If you're only going to make a top that is going to stop at your waist, or maybe a crop top or something that is a little bit on top the waist, then I'd advise you cut your fabric to be 34 in length and 32 in width. If you want it to get up to your hip, then about 45. So for me, I'll be using I want something around here. Okay, so I'll be using 40 in length by 32. That is what I'm going to cut on my fabric. 40 in length, 32 in width. So this is the pattern. So it's elastic, so I wouldn't want to add, it will turn out to be elastic, so I wouldn't want to add allowance. Even if I'm to add any allowance, it will be half an inch. So this is how you're going to draw the pattern. So we're assuming this is your fabric that you've already cut. So let's say I've already cut this 40 by 32, 14 length, 32 width. So this is how I'm going to measure, use my ruler. Let's say my ruler is 1 inch. From this end to this end is 1 inch. If it's 1 inch on both ends, or rather if it's 1 inch ruler, I'll place it and I'll draw my line, so each of the grid should be 1 inch. The grid should be 1 inch. So what I mean is from here to here an inch, from here to here an inch, and then you start drawing these vertical lines which shows you the direction of your smocking. Well, however you like, you can do it, but this is how I prefer doing mine. So this is direction, this comes here, this comes here, this comes here, this comes here, this comes. So you do that all over your fabric. So I'll show you how it comes out on my fabric. I'll advise you use this long ruler. It's a 40 inches long ruler. You can make yours for your lines, you can make yours like half of an inch, that is half inch, but that is very time consuming. If you're determined to do it, you can actually do it. So this ruler makes it easier for me. It's a 40 inches long ruler, and it's good you place it on a flat, place your fabric on a flat surface, and then I'm drawing it at the back. I'm transferring my pattern at the back, like this is, I'm using this satin, so I'm putting my pattern at the back. This is the front, so it's the shiny part is the front, while this place is the back. So I'm putting my pattern at the back. It's good to put it on a flat surface also. Satins at times can be slippery, so you do not want it to be slippery while you're drawing your lines. So this is just perfect for me. Once I put it here, I draw my line here with my chalk. If you have a tailor's pencil, you can also use what I'll be using, my chalk, to draw my lines. As I said, if you want yours to be like half of this line, you can also do it. So I'm done transferring my pattern on mine. I'd advise you, if you want to go and rest, leave it this way. Do not fold it, because when you fold it, the fabric may rub together and clean off your markings. Yes. And another thing is, make sure whatever you're marking comes out, because you're going to iron the front. You're going to iron the front because all your markings made it rumpled, and when you're done smoking you cannot iron, so you need to iron at this stage. And if you see that any of them got messed up or it cleaned, you have to redo it, else once you miss a step, so at times that whole part goes wrong, then you start wondering what happened. Yes. And when you ironing, don't use water. Don't let water touch it at all. Yes, you won't even see any of your markings anymore. So the next we're going to do is how to smock.